When my first job performance peer review said I was a shitty leader, that was the wake-up call. I had been at the PR agency in Chicago for a few years, and a few months prior to this moment, I had been promoted up 2 levels. Not because the agency felt like I was ready to be a leader, but because my boss and my boss's boss had just been laid off. And I found out years later, the agency didn't think I was ready to lead a team or lead some of the biggest accounts. It turned out they just wanted to bill me at a higher rate to our clients. I wasn't ready to be a leader, but I was going to find out the hard way how to become one. There's a long list of all-world athletes who went on to become terrible coaches. Just because you're really good at doing your job doesn't mean you're necessarily good at motivating other people to do it. Real leadership, real motivational leadership takes a lot of time, a lot of experience, and practice, practice, practice. My first mistake was thinking that all of my team members like to be motivated the same way. I assumed that if I was their friend and if I was nice to them and if I treated everyone equally, then they'll want to do what I'm asking them to do. What I didn't realize was they were seeing my friendliness as an excuse not to be accountable. And for about half my team who weren't responding in that kind of way, we weren't getting anything done. Our deadlines were slipping, the quality of our work was failing, and our clients were not happy. I knew something needed to be done, but after going back and looking through those job performance peer reviews again, I had a bit of a realization. Fortunately, the problem was with me, not with my team. I was blaming them. I thought it was their fault that our product was suffering because I was giving them all this opportunity to be better teammates. But in reality, they weren't getting the direction that they deserved, and it was my fault. But it was great to realize that because that meant that I could fix things. By looking inwards, I realized the solution was going to be within our grasp. So I sat down with each of my team members individually, and I asked them, how do you like to be coached? What works best for you? What are you not getting from me that I can do to help? And it worked. They were happy to get the question. They were pleased to know that I was interested enough in trying to become a better leader that we had some great open conversations. It helped that we had a lot of trust within our team too, to be able to have that type of conversation. And things got better. The quality of the work started to turn around, and it could not have come at a better time. Our team had just been tasked by one of our clients, a downstate Illinois coal mining company, to save a $400 million long-term coal mining contract. If the contract was broken, more than 400 miners would have been out of a job. And these are high-income, high-benefit jobs in small-town Illinois that if these jobs were lost, their families would have been in dire financial straits. It would have crippled the regional economy. And these miners, many of them, were just 2 or 3 years away from retirement, which in the coal mining union is a magic number for a pension that will allow you and the rest of your family to live comfortably. This was a big deal for this area and a big deal for these families. And we had to find a way to get the power company that wanted to walk away from this contract back to the bargaining table. Fortunately, with my team now more empowered to perform and me not holding them back, we went out and we got then Senate Majority Leader Dick Durbin to pound the podium in a downstate Illinois gazebo in the middle of a small town with the cameras rolling saying, we need to bring this contract back. We got other local politicians to get them go on camera, get in the newspaper and say, we need to save this contract because it's going to save Illinois consumers a couple of pennies every month if this contract gets broken, but it's going to put hundreds of miners and their livelihood and their families in dire straits. And it worked. power company came back to the bargaining table. We were able to work out a solution that benefited both sides. And this was a hallmark moment for my team. They were thrilled to have been part of a public relations campaign and be part of a team that was making such a huge difference for the lives of all of these miners. Leading is a privilege. It's not one size fits all. You have to learn what motivates everyone on your team because everyone responds differently. And don't assume that just because you're in a leadership role that you know what you're doing. Ask for help. Ask from those who have been there and learn from your mistakes as I have. And lastly, embrace the negative feedback. It's much more helpful than the positive stuff. You'll learn so much more and you'll be better off for it on your leadership journey. Thank you. What questions do you have?